Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe, Sunil ji. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita session. Radhe Radhe, Nitin ji. Over to you.
Radhe Radhe Pallavi ji, thank you. Good morning, good evening, all of you. Thank you, Sunil Bhai and Madan ji, for a wonderful Patanjali Yoga Sutra session, like always. So, very warm welcome to all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your day and had a wonderful day. It's pretty cold here in Dallas, and hopefully things are going to ease out tomorrow. It's not a bad situation to be in at times when you are stuck at home with absolutely nothing to do other than work. So, trying to make the most of it. But very warm welcome to you. Today, we will continue on our journey, and we are talking about the concept of sacrifice. And then we spoke about Devi Devatas yesterday. Devi Devatas are going to continue, going to be a continuous feature in next few discussions. Because there are a lot of aspects of Devi Devatas that we need to be learning about. And today we are going to talk about what is the thief mindset we need to be wary about getting into, and who is technically a thief. Okay, it's a very important concept to understand. Maybe an eye-opener. It certainly was for me. So let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get underway. Me a sec. Okay, I think I need to just give me a sec. It's not right.
Sandhya ji, your wallpaper is looking very good. Very beautiful.
Krishna always looks that beautiful, right?
Yeah. And so is for Rahul ji and Sam ji too. Very beautiful. And you guys keep changing. I've noticed that. Yeah, very nice.
Yes. So, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, very well. Thank you. Yeah.
They keep changing, and change is the only thing constant. So, good.
Change is the only constant thing. Yes.
Change is the only constant thing, right? I think this was the answer given by Sushmita Sen during Miss Universe. Okay, she was asked this question, so she gave this answer, which was very well received. Okay, so let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe, morning, good evening again. So let's get started. I picked up 3.12. I'm going to recite it and then you're welcome to follow along. Ishtan bhogan hidvo deva dasyante yagya bhavitaha ter dattan pradayabhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha. All right. Who do we have the pleasure of calling out first today?
Again, Sam, no prize for guessing. Yeah. Sam ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Pre-booking.
Yeah, I wondered why Rahul ji did not come for competition today.
He has given up.
Istan bhogan hi o deva dasyante egna bhavita tair dattan apradayebhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha.
Very nice, Sam.
Thank you.
From Samji, she has become Sam. Okay, the shorter name now. All right.
Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Sandhya.
Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyanti yagya bhavitaha taidatman pradayabhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha.
Very nice. Thank you, Sandhya.
Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Nitin ji, Radhe Radhe Pallavi ji, Radhe Radhe everyone. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yagya bhavitaha taidatana pradayabhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha. Radhe
Nice.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, we can take maybe few more hands.
Aparna ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Aparna ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Ones on video, they will get a preference, of course. Yes, Aparna ji, go ahead.
Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yagya bhavitaha tairdattan apradayabhyo yo bhunte stena eva saha.
Very nice. Thank you, Aparna ji.
Rahul ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Jai Shri Ram. Ishtan bhogani vo deva dasayante yagya bhavita ter dattan apradayabhyo yo bhukte stena eva saha. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. Thank you, Jai Mata di, Rahul ji. All right.
Shyam ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shyam ji.
Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yagya bhavitaha ter dattan pradayabhyo yo bhukte stena sa. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice, Shyam ji. Okay. So we have 3, 4, 5 hands. Okay, last 5. Let's do that. With or
Anita
without
ji,
video.
yeah. Radhe Radhe, Anita ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yagna bhavitaha tairdattan pradayabhyo yo bhukte stena eva saha.
Very
Thank
nice.
you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you. Okay, last 4 hands.
Uday ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dashyante yagna bhavitaha tair dattan apradayabhyo yo bhunkte stena eva saha.
Wonderful.
Radhe Radhe.
Hopefully, all of you are able to recite it at your place. It's good to get into a rhythm with Bhagavad Gita shlokas. They are very, very auspicious. So as many times people are reciting, take an opportunity to do it, silently at your place. Or you can loudly do that as well, as long as you are muted. All right. Let's take a few more hands.
Riya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe Riya ji.
Radhe Radhe. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattan apradayabhyo yo bhunkte stena eva saha.
Wonderful. Very nice.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Riya ji. Last 2 hands.
Chandru ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yagna bhavita terdattan apradayabhyo yo bhukte stena eva sa.
Nice, Chandru ji. Thank you. Radhe Radhe. Okay, last but not the least, Pragi ji.
Pragi ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Radhe Radhe. Ishtan bhogani vo deva dasyante yagya bhavitaha ter dattan pradayabhyo यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः.
Very nice, Pragiji. Yeah. Ter dattan apradayebhyo. Actually, when they do the sandhi, we miss that, so it can change the meaning. But yeah, very nice. So let's get started in this one. Lord Krishna is telling, because he's continuing in the same vein after explaining about celestial gods and what is their role in grand scheme of things. He goes on to say the celestial gods, being satisfied by the performance of sacrifice, will grant you all the desired necessities of life. Desired necessities of life. But those who enjoy what is given to them without making offerings in return are verily thieves. Now he's introducing the concept of thief. Who's a thief? Okay, so let's get started. This is what we are going to talk about today. Who's a thief and what is the stealing mindset? What is that stealing mindset, I would say, that we all need to be wary of? Okay. Let's get started. So let's start with a story. Now here's a gentleman or a dude, you can say. He's taking a stroll in a forest or in maybe some kind of a countryside. Okay. So as he's taking a walk, he comes across this beautiful house, as you can see, and there is absolutely nobody in this house. Okay. So he goes out and makes himself comfortable in the lying sofa on the drawing room of this beautiful cottage. Okay, and helps himself, get seated. And then, of course, he's feeling hungry. Then he opens up the refrigerator, and to his surprise and to his amazement, he finds a lot of good stuff there as well to eat and feed himself, because he's hungry as well. And then furthermore, of course, he goes to the restroom, relieves himself, and he starts using the house like he would, it's like one of the things that he's doing. Now, is this person doing anything wrong? Anybody thinking he's doing anything wrong? Okay. Anybody thinking that he's doing something basically wrong? Or would you consider him a thief? Is what my question is. Yes, Rita ji, you had some take on it?
Yes, Rita ji, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
First of all, we should not try to take somebody else's property, consider as like our property, and act like that. Without the permission, we should not use someone else's property, anything. So it's kind of thief things, like, when somebody's not there, we grabbed and we used it and everything. So in my thought, I thought it's a kind of, yes, it's a thief.
Yeah, there is no board hanging there, no admission without permission or private property or anything, right? So I think he took advantage of that fact. But yeah, I think you've got a valid point. Thank you, Rita ji. Let's hear maybe from a couple more and then we'll continue with our discussion.
Amritvani ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Harshita? Yeah.
Asmita.
Yeah, so just by looking at the pictures, I wouldn't say he's like doing something wrong, because it depends on his intention. Like if he wanted to go and steal something, and then that would be considered bad. But if he was just a person that was looking for a place to just have some shelter and have some food, and then it wouldn't be wrong, because the house didn't actually have any like warning or like board that says
True.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. Yeah, sure. Let's continue. I think I don't want to spend a lot of time. We'll come back to that. The key concept here is, how will the law view this? Will the law view this as some kind of a theft? Yeah, kind of an encroachment that is happening, right? Because he's going there. First of all, it's obligatory on him to understand, is this a property that he can simply consume, or are there certain rules governing that as well? And if he says, no, I was not aware of it and I so started using it, the law will say, no, it was obligatory on you to understand, right? You are using somebody's property and you cannot just go and help yourself. You might as well ruin it as well, right? Who's going to stop you from there? Okay, anyways, the broader concept here is the world that we live in is actually created by God, our scriptures tell us, and it belongs to Him. And if we utilize this creation for our pleasure without acknowledging His dominion over it from the divine perspective, we are certainly committing theft. That is how it goes. Our scriptures tell us when you are given a privilege, that comes with some kind of a responsibility. Now, what is that responsibility? Ignorance is not a bliss. In Brahma Sutra, in our scripture says, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. The very first thing says that as humans, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Spider-Man, if you have seen that movie, with great power comes great responsibility. The same thing happens here as well. When humans we become, we get great power of discrimination, vivek, buddhi, which animals, plants, they don't get. They are scripted to follow their instincts. If an animal is feeling hungry, they will eat, even if it is human. Will it get logged as a papa in the logbook of Chitraguptji? Of course not. They are scripted to go by their instincts. But if a human kills a tiger and eats it, then it is considered as a sin because they are given a vivek. So Athato Brahma Jigyasa is the very first sutra which says, inquire. When you are born as a human, inquire why are you here, right? For what purpose you are here, and what is your relationship with God, and then how do you get closer to the goal of your life, or what is the purpose of life, and how do you make strides towards it? That is imperative, incumbent upon us when we are born as humans. We cannot say we were not aware of it. We were just born and we started utilizing. That's fine. But that question has to crop up and we have to inquire about it. Okay. So it's a loose analogy, but the point here is it's somewhere similar to that. And we have been consuming all the resources. We have been given air, oxygen, which if you go to hospitals for a gallon, they can charge you a few $1,000s, especially if you're on life support or anything. We get water, we get earth to roam around. We get all the nourishment that we need from Mother Earth, including the minerals that are needed for our body and otherwise, even the precious stones and pretty much everything comes from Earth, right? And the technology that God has given us to nourish us, because different kind of crops, the grains that we consume, and finally the same grains become part of our body, and then they become part of our blood, bone marrow, pretty much everything, and life sustains itself. So for all these wonderful gifts that we spoke about, if we are simply consuming it without acknowledging the dominion of God and doing a few other things, then it is like committing a theft from a scriptural or a spiritual perspective. Okay, so what does it mean basically? Let's move on. Now this is a common argument we have, right? If you go around, people would simply say that I lead a virtuous life. I do not harm anyone, nor do I steal anything. But I do not believe in worshipping God, nor do I believe in Him. Am I doing anything wrong? Okay, let's look at it. Now, this question is answered in this current verse. Such persons may not be doing anything wrong in the eyes of humans, but they are thieves in the eyes of God. Okay, that is how it goes. From a scriptural standpoint, when you apply the spiritual law, they're actually thieves because they're not acknowledging the dominion. Not that God needs it. It's just like even in this world, you apply that law, right? Being ungrateful, not acknowledging the dominion. And here in US, if you encroach somebody's house, they can shoot you as well. Legally, they can shoot you. Okay, God is not shooting us. Okay, simply saying that, okay, I will record it as a binding karma. That's all it is. Okay. But that is how the spiritual laws work as well. Now, if we begin looking at the gifts of nature not as a means to survive or serving the God, but start enjoying it for our enjoyment, it is called as a thieving mentality, right? God has introduced that term in this particular shloka. This is how thieves look, right? So anyway, this is called a thieving mentality. Now, what does it mean basically? We will continue on that because there are a few things we can do actually to get over that mindset and not do acts and things which is making us that basically giving us that designation or that label that we are carrying because of our binding karma in that case. So let's look at that. So this is how the rain, you see the rain falling. I hope you like this. And then rain will give us grains. This is how the cycle goes. And then the wind that we get, cool breeze that we enjoy in nature, right? You simply sit in the cool breeze and it gives you a aha feeling. And then even the crops, the other kind of plants that we have. And then of course, all the minerals, you've done that periodic table in chemistry, all these elements which are in the womb of earth. I don't know how many elements are there. When I was there, maybe 100 odd or something were there. So all of these things, sunlight, the moonlight, all these things are maintained by devatas. Okay, they are the administrators of this universe. They have been tasked for that, and they do their duty. They are tasked with that, and they will do it because God has given them that responsibility. They will continue to do that. And so we are also expected to do our duty, because everything in this universe is working as designed, including the devatas and the nature. It's us who have been endowed with free will. We become bereft of that consciousness. Now, these celestial gods, they are servants of God, and they become pleased when somebody does a sacrifice for them. Okay, and one of the sacrifice that we are talking about is yagna. So if you are doing your duty, designated duty, to the best of your ability, honestly, that is also considered a yagna. And because of that, what happens? The devatas, they are pleased, because now you are pulling your weight. You are no longer a free rider in this entire creation. And when you pull in your weight, they are pleased. And when they are pleased, they start creating favorable situations for you in material conditions. And it is said, when you strongly make a resolve to serve God, the whole universe starts to cooperate with you. A lot of people would say, right, they made a plan to meet Swamiji and they were not sure if they will be able to reach it because it was on the other end of Delhi. But somehow things cooperated, and by the time they reached, they had 10 minutes to spare. The whole universe starts cooperating when you make priority as some spiritual thing as your priority, or serving God as your priority. On the contrary, you make a plan to see a movie, and some obstacles might come along the way. And if you have material life as a focal point of your life, then it will tire you. Kids, spouse, job, the mundane life will tire you. Relatives, functions, potlucks, they will tire you. There's no dearth of it. There's no end to it. You start making spirituality or serving God as your priority, the whole universe starts to cooperate, and it's a matter of realization. It's not a hocus pocus stuff. Try it out, and if it doesn't work for you, reject it. I'm telling you, it will work. This is how it's meant to work. So the whole universe starts cooperating, and Devi Devatas, they are extremely pleased. They are anyway servants of God. When you start serving their master, they will be happy. Like we saw that short clip from Swamiji yesterday. They will not have any kind of a ego problem that why are you going to our master and why not worshipping us. They'll be very pleased, and the whole universe starts cooperating with you, because now you are serving the purpose of this creation and aligning to the message of scriptures and Vedas as well. So Devi Devatas, they are extremely pleased when we start doing devotion, and when they are pleased, of course, see, it's only because Harinam is still there. The balance of this planet is maintained. Towards the end of Kali Yuga, when Harinam will completely go away, then the balance will start shifting. And that is when the Kalki avatar is projected. But right now, there are enough people. They may be in minority out of the 7 or 8 billion people that we have on this planet, but it's only because of that small proportion that the balance is maintained, where we still have food grains, rains, and weather cycle. We have some aberrations, but for larger part, it is still within control. But when this whole thing, the devotion will completely evaporate, people will run away from their duties, responsibilities, the whole ecosystem will collapse, because Devi Devatas, they will say, we are out of job now. Okay, we cannot support you because you are not serving the purpose of this creation, and you are not pulling your weight as you should. So this creation, so human beings, we are indebted to Devatas for all we receive from them. And it's important for us to pull our weight like a well-oiled machine. And pulling our weight means having a sense of gratitude, performing the yagna, sacrifices, or from time to time. And sacrifices could be as simple as doing your job properly, doing your daily stuff properly, and having a spirit of sacrifice towards everything. Right? When you get from something, you have to give back as well. We get everything from this environment, but if we keep exploiting the environment, then we know what kind of things happen, right? When the earth has to restore its balance or heal itself, then tornadoes happen, tsunamis happen, and all those calamities, Adi Bhautik and Adi Devik, those kind of things come. These are called Adi Devik. That means it is enforced upon, inflicted upon us by Devatas. Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik is the ones which are inflicted upon us by other beings. And Adhyatmik is the one which is inflicted upon us by our own mind. These three problems we'll have to deal with in this material world. Why Adi Devik? Because people are running away from their, natural resources are being exploited. The sense of gratitude is going away. We are simply taking and exploiting. So that is why these kind of things we'll have to contend with for as long as we are in the material nature. Okay, let's move on. All right, so thief. Now let's talk about a thief here. Here also we see a thief. He's stealing something. Stealing butter. Right? Makhan chor. Chor itself is thief, right? Now it's like ulta chor kotwal ko dante. Right? We can put that case. Now God is saying, you guys are thief if you do that. And in his particular Leela, when he did, he's stealing stuff. Not just this. Think of it with Mirabai and Gopis. He stole their chit. So Makhan chor, chit chor, thief. Chor we all know. Chor is a Hindi word for thief. So when God himself is setting the precedent of stealing things, why is he so inconsiderate when it comes to us stealing? Okay, after all, we are his descendants only, is part and parcel of God. Why doesn't he cut us a slack on this front? Okay, let's talk about this concept a little bit. So now, why God, despite being known for his famous acts of stealing, asking us not to be thieves? How's God stealing different from our stealing? Let's have a bit of a discussion, and I'll then explain a beautiful Leela to illustrate this concept, what it means, or how is it different. Anybody who wants to take a shot at it? He's also a thief, right? Big time thief.
Yes, Shyamji. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Yes, Shyam.
राधे राधे। See, thief तो भगवान भी चोर है, बट वो चोरी करते हम लोगों को, हमारा दिल, हमारा चित्त, और हम लोग चोरी करते हैं मटेरियल थिंग्स, भगवान को दी चीजें, एंड उसके लिए हम वी आर नॉट इवन थैंकफुल टू गॉड कि व्हाट ही हैज गिवन अस. इन अदर वे द गॉड स्टील्स अस फॉर हिज आवर ओन सेल्फ. हमें चुरा के हमें दे रहा है वो तो ही इज नॉट अ चोर, बट वी आर बिग महाचोर्स. दैट्स व्हाट आई फील. ही इज डूइंग दिस ऑल थिंग फॉर अस ओनली. हमारे लिए कर रहे हैं, वो चोरी कर रहे हैं, और हम कर रहे हैं अपने लिए कर रहे हैं. ये फर्क है, आई थिंक सो.
That is your magnanimity and large heartedness, Shyamji, for accepting that. But great point. Good point. I'll elaborate a little bit more on that. Yes, I see a few more hands. Let's hear them out, and then I'll get into a beautiful vyakhya, which will shed a lot of light on this topic. Yes.
Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Actually, everything belongs to God only, no? There's nothing that does not belong to him. So he cannot steal anything. It's just he's doing leelas to be able to grace us, to be able to give us some opportunities to love him and serve him. That's it.
Great point. Very true. I mean, what is there for him to steal as such, right? When we say in I think Kathopanishad, it says that everything comes out of God and finally goes back into him. So there's absolutely nothing where God is not present. And there's absolutely nothing that doesn't belong to him truly at this point, right? So what is there for him to steal? That's a great point. Thank you, Sandhya, for bringing that up. Let's hear from a couple of more or is
Yeah,
better
thank you,
than.
Sandhya ji. Even Lakshmi ji also mentioned the same point, that
Right.
it is his creation, so all is his leelas.
See, when we go and give something to God, offer something to God, it's like a kid asking his father, "Father, can you give me 100 rupees?" And father gives him 100 rupees, and kid takes a gift for his father and offers it back to him. Actually, there's nothing that we are offering to God. It anyway belongs to God. It's just a sentiment that we are building there for our own benefit. But yeah, there's absolutely nothing that doesn't belong. Lakshmi, that we are so fond of, is actually wife of Narayan, right? So yes, let's hear maybe a few more hands, and then I'll get into a little deeper into this topic.
Akshada ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yes, Akshata ji, thank you.
Radhe Radhe. I have heard a Leela about God that once one Gopi complained Mother Yashoda that he is the Makhanchor and he steals butter from us. And Krishna says that you are the one who is the thief, because it's all provided by me and you are the ones who steal from me. So we are the ones actually who steal from God, who do not pay gratitude every time we use each and everything, air around us, water, food, each and everything, even the breath we are taking, all is provided by the Lord. So we should be grateful every time.
Very true.
Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. Akshata ji, where are you joining us from?
Okay, she got muted. Okay, please go ahead, Akshata ji.
I'm from Delhi.
Okay. Good to hear from you, and welcome to our session. I think we are hearing you for the first time, so great to hear from you on that. I'd love to hear more from you. Thank you for that. Yes, a few new hands I see. Let's hear from them.
Prabhat ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe. So basically, जैसे श्री कृष्ण भगवान को माखन चोर कहते हैं, सो इट्स लाइक एवरीथिंग बिलोंग्स टू हिम ओनली. बट इसमें एक चीज जो मैं ऑब्जर्व कर रहा हूँ, लाइक चित चोर और माखन चोर, ये उनकी लीलाएं तब है जब लाइक लोहा तब के सोना बनता है, उसके बाद उसको वो वैल्यू मिलती है. उस टाइप से लाइक अगर भगवान भी देते हैं वापस, जो उस समय उस लायक हो जाती है. लाइक अगर भगवान किसी का चित्त चुरा रहे हैं, वो तब चुरा रहे हैं जब मतलब चित्त ले रहे हैं, उस समय ले रहे हैं जब उन्हें लग रहा है कि दैट पर्सन इज नाउ एबल टू कम टू हिम. सो बेसिकली इट्स नॉट चोरी, इट्स लाइक सिलेक्शन. मतलब ये भगवान का सिलेक्शन है कब उनको अपनी कौन सी चीज लेनी है. Yeah, thanks.
Great point. Yes, Prabhat, very true. And in fact, it is a privilege if God chooses us to, steal our chit. He doesn't do that for everybody, right? It will be a huge privilege if he does that. So please reserve your hands. Let me get into a little bit of philosophy now around this, and then we'll come back to this topic where you can add your. So please raise your hand. I think Prakash ji, Sam ji, Swati ji, and Sumesh ji. Just hold off for a bit, and then I will get into that. So there's a beautiful Vyakhya from Maharaj ji that he taught. I love that. So in this, he explains, I'll not get into the entire one, but at least some excerpts from it to explain this concept. So here is a gopi who is actually complaining to Krishna. Okay, and it goes like this. Kahe chit chora mora kanha, 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 kanha. She's complaining that, why did you steal my chit? Okay. And she's saying that, and then furthermore, she goes on to say, Chit to tha sathi sada se hi mora kanha, मैंने क्या बिगाड़ा तोरा कान्हा, 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 कान्हा. Now, chit is something that is our friend from each lifetime. Okay, it accompanies us. We have spoken about this concept that as part of our subtle body, chit continues. And chit stores all of our memories and sanskars. Okay, it's part of your subconscious. It will go, and your sanskars, tendencies, everything is stored in the chit. So chit is something which is your sathi. Sathi means your companion of our soul. There's no, you are not getting rid of chit at all. Okay, if you go to Ashtang Marg, it is called Chitta Nirod, Chitta Nivritti basically. You can do Chitta Nivritti only when you become, one with Paramatma, and that is the goal of Ashtanga Yoga. I'll get into that concept as well. But other than that, Chit is your permanent companion. Now, Gopi is complaining, why did you steal that? Okay. Now she's further building her case. She said, all I did was just look at you, because gopis are warned not to look at Krishna. Okay. And if they look at Krishna, Krishna just steals their heart, chit. So he said, why did you do that? I simply stared at you. And when you stare at somebody, it is not illegal, right? Even in this world, when we look at somebody, we look at people, right? It is not illegal. No law will come and say that because you looked at somebody, it is illegal. You should not have done that. And Gopi is saying, I did the same. I simply stared at you. Okay, quick glance, like it happens between boys and girls, right? In school, quick glance here and there. So said, I just had a quick glance at you, and you stole my chit. And secondly, she says, when I glanced at you, the mistake is of the eyes. So it's like Galti Kare Ramesh and Saza Bhukte Dinesh. So you should have done something with the eyes, right? Why did you steal my chit? Because chit is something that has accompanied me from so many lifetimes, right? And you have, instead of picking up eyes, you have picked up my chit. So she's complaining that. And Krishna is known to be a chitta chor because Krishna himself means something which is very attractive. Big yogis who have done their chitta nivritti in yogs, they have a lot of pride that we have taken care of our chit also. There's absolutely nothing to be stolen at this point. Now Krishna, if he bestows his mercy or grace, let's say they, in one of their lifetimes, they had sanskars of bhakti or something, or they came across a Rasik saint afterwards. In that case, as part of his grace, Krishna first gives them their chit and then steals it. So even they cannot understand, even though they have become Brahmalin, even though they have finished their chit, why is it that tug that they are experiencing? They cannot understand that. Same thing happened with Janak, King Janak also. Krishna, Ram, both are same, right? So when Lord Ram came in front of him, when the aroma of Ram went into his nostril, he felt a strong tug or a pull towards Lord Ram, that he could not resist but looking at him, as if his Nirakar, Nirgun Brahm has taken on a form and he can't help. That is the feeling he got. That is the akarshan of Krishna when he chooses to steal your chit. And if he's stealing your chit, that means you are very, very special. Like Prabhat was saying, you have already become that tapa hua sona. You have reached a particular level. He does not steal dirty chits, right? He steals very, very pure chits which he likes. And once he steals that, that's it. Nothing else is needed at that point, beyond that point, right? Even with Shukdev, who recited Bhagavatam to Parikshit, when he came out of his mother's womb after 12 years, that's another story. He did not want to come out in this world because he said, I'm not going to deal with Maya, even though he's a Paramhans. But when he came out, he simply walked to the forest and sat down there in Samadhi. Vedvyas said, go call my boy. And he was in a Samadhi. And then Vedvyas said, okay, go recite this particular verse in his ears. Okay, so people tried everything, but they could not break his Samadhi. But when he recited that verse from Bhagavatam in ears of Krishna, where, I think one of his Leelas under Kadam or on the banks of Yamuna was recited in his ears, he opened up his eyes. His Samadhi was broken. That is the power of Krishna. Krishna's attraction. People who are Hans or Paramhans, they cannot help, but their heart gets stuck towards Krishna because he has chosen to steal their heart. And it's a great spot to be in, right? It's like bestowing divine love on somebody. So it's like God has decided to capture your heart, right? Our heart gets captured by ordinary people around, but when God decides to capture it, one can only imagine the state, right? What it would happen. So he does that for the benefit of soul. He doesn't need it for himself. God's very definition is Atmaram, Atmakrida, and Atmarati. That means he's satisfied in himself. He's bliss in himself. He doesn't need anything more to be added to him to feel more blissful. However, there are two kinds of bliss God experiences. One is the bliss that he has himself, right? Of course, he's blissful, ever blissful. Second is the bliss that he feels through devotee. When devotee feels the bliss of God, that experience that devotee is feeling, God seated within can taste that as well. And that is of a high, he relishes it much more than his own bliss. So when he's stealing his heart, he's also relishing what devotee is going through. And that taste is much higher. But he will not choose an ordinary chit. That chit has to be of very superior quality, selfless chit, right? So that is why he does these acts. Even the butter stealing stuff, every gopi used to dream that when will Krishna come and do that, right? And he would simply grace them, okay, so that they could become happy around that. So his stealing is for our benefit, like Shyamji was saying. Our stealing is for our own benefit, and his stealing is for our benefit, right? That is also God and saints, when they do something, it is for the benefit of others, not for self-seeking activity. And Krishna, being Rasik Shiromani, does it to perfection, to the best possible manner, the most perfect manner he does that. So that is the technical difference between the stealing that we do and the stealing that God does. Okay, couple of hands. I'd like to hear from them as well.
Swati ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah. Yeah, what Nitin ji said, no, I just wanted to add in that only. I wanted to say the same thing, that whatever we do, it's for our desire, for greed or attachment we do, and we get in the karmic cycle because of that. Whatever we'll get the karma's result and all that. But when Krishna does this is for our welfare. Even Krishna doesn't take the heart, anybody's heart, because we only pray to the God. Please give your darshan, please give me your prem. Then only Krishna will come and take the heart of that person only. So he is not stealing. Actually, we are only telling him that please take me to your abode and please give me a darshan. And then only he comes and steals the heart. Even that one bhajan is there, no? Oro jadugar tune lute bade bade yogiyo ke ghar. So there also he is looting the house, means heart chitta of everybody. I just remind of this. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you very much, Swati ji. I love the word looting. So I think it has found its way into Oxford dictionary as well. Looting, plundering, and yes, he loots big yogis and saints' houses as well. In fact, it is a privilege to get robbed by Krishna, if at all, right? Because not everybody gets it. Yeah. Beautiful, very nice. Yes, Smeshi, and I think we had Samji and Prakashji as well. So please, you can chime in now for the question that I posed earlier. Yes, Smeshi, go ahead.
Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe. Yeah, please go ahead.
I have a question that Mahabharat Yuddha had gone 18 days, and Bhagavad Gita is also 18 chapter. So how many days or hour Sri Krishna completed the Bhagavad Gita?
I don't have the exact time. Somewhere I had read it was about little over 3 hours that Arjun was. But the point here is, when he was reciting Bhagavad Gita, he stopped time. Okay, the time had stopped. Right? It's like statue you play, stop statue in school. So he said statue, everybody was statue. And after Bhagavad Gita was done, he said, okay, back to motion again. So that 18, when he recited that, the time had stopped. And then it started again. But I don't know how long it actually took Arjun to get all the import of 700 shlokas, and I think about a little over 3 hours probably. I may be wrong. But the key thing is Arjun in one go could understand not only understand, he could assimilate it and also put it to practice. But anyway, he was a Nar Narayana avatar. He was already realized he was doing a Leela at that point. So he was not an ordinary human, Arjun. But yeah, the time was stopped. So that 18 years, 18 days, it's not that it was continuing the Gita and the war battle was going on as well. So, okay. Yes.
Yes, Rita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Everybody answered about this Chit Chor and Chor. But since he asked a question, I have one question. Some Gitas always tell that Sanjay told Sanjay did not tell Dhritarashtra from very beginning. He told the Gita after 10th days when he came back from the Kurukshetra, and then he told him everything. I get very confused. So maybe you can clear my confusion. So
I don't know.
He started telling the first day, very first day, when Bhagwan was telling the Gita, or some Gita says like after 10th days, whatever, I don't know. So
I don't know. Basically, the Gita, it's not like part of Gita is missed where the message starts, because it all starts with, okay, Dhritarashtra asking him, ki, what is going on in Kurukshetra? Can you tell me what is going on to Arjun? And that is where this whole Gita starts. In fact, Dhritarashtra has only one shloka in entire Bhagavad Gita. That is the first one, where he's asking Arjun, Sanjay, can you tell me the proceedings of what's going on the battlefield? Now, on which day Gita was recited? I think it was at the beginning. Now, did he miss out part of the Gita? At least I haven't come across any of that, because the very first shloka, if you look at it, it is in sequence. It's not looks like an interrupted or a dialogue that was picked in between. It seems like a very logical beginning where it says Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samveta Yuyutsava Mamaka Pandavascha Kim Kurvata Sanjaya. So it starts with an inquiry from Dhritarashtra, and then from that point onwards, it logically flows. Sanjay explains, the armies are there, and now Arjun is asking Krishna to take the chariot in between. So it all seems very sequential at that point. I don't know what is the context of saying that, not the entire Bhagavad Gita is captured, but from our learning standpoint, from a point of view of our benefit, everything is captured where it is logically flows from Arjun's Vishad Yoga, where, his hands start trembling and the Gandiv slips out of his hand, all the way up to Sankhya Yoga, and pretty much the entire Bhagavad Gita unfolds. So nothing is missed from a knowledge standpoint from what we have available.
That's what I was thinking. Thank you so much. But other day I was referring, but that was Ramdas Gita. Okay. And in that they refer like, okay, when he came back from the Kurukshetra, then Dhritarashtra keep asking the question. So Yudh was done 10 days. So I was very confused, but that's what I thought, like, every time everybody says it start from the day one, but only in that, then I refer another Gita had the same kind of things, on
Now,
Google.
the question,
yeah.
Now the question might be that was Sanjay playing a video recording of what happened, or was it live?
That's what exactly, video recording kind of things, yeah.
Regardless, he captured everything in the sense of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something we can clarify. At least I have not come across.
That's what they meant. That's what they meant. That he came after 10th days when Bhishma Pitama got like all the arrows and bows and arrows on the, and then he came back with the Dhritarashtra, and then he asked, and that's a video playing, that what happened, tell me, or blah, blah, blah.
Okay. All right. I think, yeah, that would become a moot point, because Bhagavad Gita, the message that we need, we are getting regardless. So yeah, but we can, from a trivia standpoint, it might be a good thing to get clarified. Sure.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Taji. Yes, Chandruji.
Yeah. Can we take Samji and Prakashji?
Sure. Sure.
Samji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I think at that time, maybe Sanjay was given the offer that if you can record on the DVD. But when Netflix came, direct streaming came. I'm just kidding. Anyway, coming back to that show we were talking about.
Yeah, it was a live streaming as far as
Yeah.
It was live streaming, live telecast. That's what people are also putting
Vedvyas
in
had
the
given him that that privilege.
Okay, now coming back to the issue we were talking about, all of you explained Sandhya, Shyamji, and you already explained it. So logic is saying, like everybody says, that everything belongs to God, and He can do whatever He wanted to do. It just chore and Makhan chore, He could have done it. But like Shyamji said, we people are doing it chori for our materialistic things, for our greed, for our own fulfillment, not for the purpose of some kind of a service to God. That's the main thing. All of you already explained it. But my issue in this context is, besides that, if he was doing the chori, Lord Krishna, which obviously was justified from all the angles, but from the public point of view, the public, like we people or somebody else sees that, they may think that when it is a like this man. But everything belongs to him, so it was the right thing. That is in a nutshell, I'm saying that.
True. So that is why I say God's leelas are not to be dissected with mundane intellect. We don't copy them. And if we have to copy them, we have to copy them in entirety. Okay. If we simply want to tease girls and say Krishna used to do that, then we better have an ability to lift Govardhan also. Or
Right.
better have an ability to recite Bhagavad Gita or be able to dispel the doubts like he did as well. So, or a lot of people say that, Lord Shiv, we used to have bhang and all that stuff, but can you drink poison? So those leelas, when we start trivializing them by using our mundane intellect, then they lose its essence. In fact, on the contrary, you may end up doing namaparad in the process. So God leelas are not to be dissected with mundane intellect. And when you go into the deeper philosophy, even those leelas would make sense. Why
Right.
he did that. Yeah. So it's about scratching the surface and going a little deeper to understand that, and not just leaving it at the surface at all. Yeah.
Thank you, Nitinji. Chandruji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe. Nitinji, yesterday I didn't get an opportunity to ask the question, but in your slides you had showed the don't burn your opportunities and
Okay. Yeah. Don't lose
for
the
temporary comfort,
winning the
right?
war, but losing the battle, right?
And don't lose the war, don't lose the battle for winning the war. I wanted an explanation on the second one. I wasn't too clear about the battle you were talking about.
So the battle, okay, let me put a bit of a context to that. What it means is we go for short-term gains, right? So the reason for us to go to Devi Devatas is for material boons. Now, we may even get that because Karam Kand explains, if you do this, you'll get that. You do this, you do that. So you might have won the war by having that small satisfaction of getting what you wanted. However, it is an opportunity cost where you have lost that opportunity to spend your time and build sanskars about developing selfless love for God. So that is the ultimate battle for the soul, right? It has remediate. If you get a temporary relief or temporary thing in material life, it has not really helped the cause of the soul itself. So the battle is realizing the potential of the soul. The war is the small temporary pleasures that we go after from Devi Devatas for, and centering our life around ritualistic stuff alone, to get those material things. So that was the idea, because we have to look at the big picture, long-term gain for ourselves, as opposed to just focusing on the short-term pleasures. That is like winning the war and losing the battle. Hope it makes sense.
Yeah, but in the meantime, when we are growing up, we learn from beliefs and from the practices that our parents do, and we learn from them.
True.
Like a personal experience, I can tell you, when we first came to America, we didn't have anything to do and no work and no jobs and no nothing. So we opened up a small shop, and the Maharaji of the temple suggested to do the Satnarayan Katha. And we did the puja, and it built the faith, the strong, belief that if you pray really sincerely, God listens to you. And today in your lectures also, you have said the same thing, that it is said that when we strongly resolve to serve God, the universe begins to cooperate with us. So that faith becomes kind of a strong, that's all I wanted to say. And in yesterday's lecture section with law of love, Sunilji and all, they were talking about, they say, looking for gold, but you have to dig tons and tons of sand before you can find the small nuggets of gold, the particles of gold. So this again, I'm applying to today's lecture with your session, saying that to find God, you really have to work hard. You may not have to dig tons and tons of sand over here, but in your own conscience, you have to go deep inside, purify your mind, clear your mind of all the vrittis, afflictions, and begin to believe in God, and the universe will cooperate with you. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Chandraji. Beautiful. That's what I'm saying. It's the spiritual trajectory. It's a journey, right? And we keep on evolving. The very first stage is becoming God acknowledging. A lot of people, they don't even acknowledge God, right? They say there's no God. If you go to Mr. Stephen Hawkins, he would say there's no God. Why do we need God to explain so many things, right? So the first step is getting to a state of acknowledging divinity, that there is God or there is divinity. That is the very first basic stage. After that, what happens? You become God. You get into rituals, build faith, and start becoming God-fearing. Right, at the first stage. After God acknowledging, the stage that comes is God fearing, that okay, I better do this, otherwise I will accrue bad karma and this will happen and that will happen. The next stage and the most advanced stage is God loving stage, which you get when you get access to that knowledge. And it is an evolution. God knows when to expose us to which message, right? So if we get an upbringing in families where certain rituals are performed, all that is good. It gives us faith. It gives us a solid foundation to not only acknowledge divinity, but embed that into our day-to-day lives. But the higher message is God loving. You don't even ask anything from God. You simply learn to love God. And that is the highest message. So depending upon what we are ready for, God exposes us to that message, and that is how we keep on taking our journey to the next level. But thank you, Chandruji, for sharing that beautiful points.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chandraji. Nitinji, can I take a quick moment for announcements? A couple of announcements.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, thank you. So, first of all, I have shared the link for feedback tracker. Please put your comments, questions, and queries in feedback tracker. It's in the chat window. The link is in the chat window. The key announcement is about the Mahashivratri celebrations. You all are invited to join a grand Mahashivratri celebrations, which starts from February 17th to February 19th at Radha Krishna Temple. And the program highlights are Rudrabhishek, Puja, Mrityunjay chanting, Om Namah Shivaya chanting, Shiv Parvati Vivah, cultural programs, Shivratri Jagran, and food and fun games for kids, and many, many more. So please do mark this kirtans also. So please do mark this event. It will be a great event to be part of. So this is something. And apart from that, we have upcoming tours, Swamiji's tours in India. From today, it's Tata Nagar, February 1st. And 2nd to 3rd February, it's Karanjia. 4th to 5th February, Jaipur. 6th to 7th February, Kendrapada. Am I reading it right? I don't know. Kendrapara, sorry. 8th to 9th February, Cuttack. 11th to 15th February, Ranchi. So please do take advantage. Please share with your family, friends, relatives, whoever live in these cities to take advantage of Swamiji's beautiful lectures.
Okay, and I would also like to add the family camp. I think
Yes.
do take an opportunity. It's in the long Independence Day weekend. Do check it out, and if you can travel over, we'd love to meet you in person here at RKT Dallas. And it's a wonderful, wonderful time of the year. So do plan for it. If you can make it, do check it out on our website as well. Great. So I see a new hand, Nakabugo-ji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Nakabuguchi, please go ahead.
My question is in the beginning of the very beginning of reading the Gita, the beginning, when I was reading the Gita, or when I'm reading, in the beginning there is a question which I don't know what is its meaning and why did he, it's like, why did he, is it the Rishta, the king, right?
Dhritarashtra, yeah.
Yes, sorry, the name is a bit difficult for me. He knew that his people are already in the battlefield with the Pandu, right? But why did he ask what is going on in the battlefield? Yet he knows that it's already a war which is going to happen. What was the need of that question? Is there any spiritual reason for that question?
No, there's no spiritual reason. It's more of a trivia. Was that Bhagavad Gita message that Sanjay had narrated, was it after the fact that Bhagavad Gita message had already been delivered, or was it live? There's no spiritual reason for that. It was more of a trivia.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Where are you joining us from, Nakabugoji?
Pardon?
Where are you joining us from? Good to hear from you.
I'm in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. All right.
Yes.
You can fill out our feedback tracker. Welcome to our sessions. Hope we'd love to hear from you.
In fact, I'm new. I just started this, like Krishna, following this Krishna session is last year. Last year in January, in fact. I started following with Krishna when I was facing problems at work. I'm getting the money. I don't know where the money disappears from. Whenever I get problems, the day I get the money, the following day I get problems. I have to spend all that money. Then I was on YouTube. I found out this Krishna, who ends all problems. When I found the mantra, I started chanting Om Krishna Nama Krishna Nama. In fact, but I was strong that I'm sure this name will help me. I started chanting that name while following other things. I started fasting. I don't know how things started changing. In just 6 months, I started getting the love of the people I'm working with. But things started becoming properly in a certain way that I can't even realize they are there now. But because of the name, which even I do not know why was it, but I started watching the show. It's called the Vigananta Ganesha. That is where I found this. I started finding out what was Shri
Yeah, I think
Krishna.
it's Krishna's plan to land you in this program, and I would love to hear more from you. Please keep joining us. We have a beautiful satsang group, and it'll be a wonderful Bhagavad Gita journey, and for all of us in coming years. So please join us. It's a wonderful family to join.
I started listening Bhagavad Gita. I found it where it is in English. I started listening it every day. Then I was on YouTube. I found JK Yoga Wiki. Then I found this session. Then I joined it.
Very nice. So please join us every day. We'd love to hear more from you, Nakabugaji, and wish you the very best. As I said, it's a wonderful group that we have. So please join us every day regularly. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are on time. Maybe we can take one question and then we have a devotional segment. Do we have ready people? Urvi had expressed her interest. She's here. Urvi, I hope you're going to sing. You can raise your hand if yes. And then I think Sunday is going to sing as well. Yes, let's take Anita ji, maybe one more hand question, and then we can get into our devotional segment so that we have enough time for all the participants.
Yeah.
We're going to spin the
Radhe,
wheel because
Radhe.
I know the names who are going to sing today. So
Okay.
Please go ahead, Anita ji.
Yeah, that in Bhagavad Gita only the proof is there. In the shloka says like that Sanjaya Uvacha. It means when Sanjaya Uvacha is coming there, if he can think logically that unless it is live, he cannot say those shlokas and convey it to Dhritarashtra there, and all the leelas. Even Arjuna was not ready to fight the war until he get the knowledge. He was not at all ready to fight. Only he was ready after getting the knowledge. So in that sense, it all happened with the sequence as Nitinji narrated. So without getting that knowledge from the Gita, without Sanjaya narrating all this to Dhritarashtra, war wouldn't have happened. And one more thing, Nitinji, for yesterday's question, please add Hanumanji also to the list, because so many brahmacharis only worship Hanumanji.
I know.
In many parts of India.
Some brahmacharis
So
ask
even it is
also.
a dilemma. They are not worshipping Ram or Sita. They are worshipping only Hanumanji. So that is also like a dilemma. Like, is it okay? Because the higher authority is Rama. Even Hanumanji is worshipping Rama, Lord Rama. He is
So that is
keeping them
fine.
in his heart.
It's
Yeah.
perfectly okay. Hanumanji is Chiranjeevi. He is a Rudra avatar, okay? Ansh avatar of Shiv Bhagwan himself. And it's perfectly okay to worship him. I don't know how much of it is legal to approach brahmachari to get married. People actually offer laddus to Hanumanji so that they can get a match. I don't know if that is correct or not, but
no, for keeping them, to keep them doing brahmacharya their whole life, they worship Hanumanji, because Hanumanji is a brahmachari. As a idol of that, they worship Hanumanji for that, to give strength, to keep them in the brahmachari virtue only.
I
So
think
for
some
that,
parents who did the other thing, I think they were misguided. So I've let them know they shouldn't be doing that.
yeah,
But yes,
because all these misconceptions are there. So that needs a bit of clarity over there.
Yes.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Anita ji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, are we good to move to our devotional segment then? Samji,
I
is it a
see
question or is it
Samji's
thing
hand
today?
is raised. Yeah, can.
Is it a question or is it devotional? Because we are technically, officially into devotional segment now. Or a quick question, maybe real quick. Okay, let's do that. Or maybe we can have it on offline, or you can put it on feedback tracker. I see Urvi, Aparna ji, Himani, Samji, both Samji are all for devotional segment, or are there any questions? Okay, then you can put that question. I think we can resolve that maybe tomorrow or offline. And we can move to our devotional segment, starting with Aparna ji. Please go ahead. You get the right of first privilege.
Radhe Radhe, Aparna ji.
We have four.
Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely. Yes, very well.
Okay, I'm not sure if I should sing the Kannada song because I don't know if anybody understands, or should I sing something else?
No, that's okay. Go ahead. I mean, we can make it short and sweet, but your bhavs, I think everybody will catch. We've all gotten certain siddhis, to pick up bhavs now. So please go
Sure,
ahead.
this is a very sweet song that Krishna, when he was young, he asks these questions to his mom. Why, when he goes and plays with all his friends, why is everybody looking at me and, pointing to me? Is it okay? Is it okay to share the slides? Then people may understand the meaning.
Sure.
How do I do that? I don't have the privilege, right?
Yeah. Let me make you a co-host so that you can share. Please go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. I hope everybody can see this now.
Yes, we can see that.
Okay. Sorry, this is the first time I'm trying. I'm nervous, but I'll see how I can do. Okay. ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. ನೋಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಎನ್ನಯ ಮುಖವು ನೋಡಿ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮಿಟ್ಟುವರಮ್ಮ. ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. ವಿಷವ ತುಂಬಿದ ಮೊಲೆಯ ನುಂಡು ಅಸುರಿಯ ನಾನು ಕೊಂದೆನಂತೆ. ವಿಷವ ತುಂಬಿದ ಮೊಲೆಯ ನುಂಡು ಅಸುರಿಯ ನಾನು ಕೊಂದೆನಂತೆ. ನಿಶಚರನಾದ ಶಕಟಾಸುರನ ಶಿಶುಗಾಲಿಲೆ ಒರೆಸಿದೆನೆಂದು ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. ಕಿಚ್ಚನಾಗಡ ನುಂಗಿದೆನಂತೆ ವಚ್ಛಾಸುರನ ಕೊಂದೆನಂತೆ. ಕಿಚ್ಚನಾಗಡ ನುಂಗಿದೆನಂತೆ ವಚ್ಛಾಸುರನ ಕೊಂದೆನಂತೆ. ಕಚ್ಚ ಬಂದ ಕಾಳಿಂಗನ್ನ ಕಿಚಲ ಮಡಹು ಧುಮುಕಿದೆನೆಂದು ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. ನೀನು ಎನ್ನ ಹಡೆದಿಲ್ಲವಂತೆ ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ಮಗನಲ್ಲವಂತೆ. ನೀನು ಎನ್ನ ಹಡೆದಿಲ್ಲವಂತೆ ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನ ಮಗನಲ್ಲವಂತೆ. ಧೇನು ಕಾಯುವರಿಲ್ಲವೆಂದು ಸಾನುರಾಗದಿ ಸಲುಹಿದೆಯಂದು ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. ದೇವಕಿಯನ್ನ ತಾಯಿಯಂತೆ ವಸುದೇವಯನ್ನ ತಂದೆಯಂತೆ. ದೇವಕಿಯನ್ನ ತಾಯಿಯಂತೆ ವಸುದೇವಯನ್ನ ತಂದೆಯಂತೆ. ಕಾವಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದೆನಂತೆ ಮಾವಗಂಜಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದರೆಂದು ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. ಹದ್ದು ಎನ್ನ ವಾಹನವಂತೆ ಹಾವು ಎನ್ನ ಹಾಸಿಗೆಯಂತೆ. ಹದ್ದು ಎನ್ನ ವಾಹನವಂತೆ ಹಾವು ಎನ್ನ ಹಾಸಿಗೆಯಂತೆ. ಕದ್ದು ಬೆಣ್ಣೆಯ ತಿನ್ನುವೆನಂತೆ ಮುದ್ದು ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನೆಂದು ಆಡ ಹೋದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಡಿಕೊಂಬುವರು ನೋಡಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ. So that's it. This is written by Purandara Das, who is a saint from Karnataka, actually. There is a great story about Purandara Das also. I can share some other time.
Very nicely and beautifully sung, Aparnaji. Loved it. Conceived.
Sorry, I was very nervous. I will try.
You did it really well, and I'm sure you would have sung it a lot many times before as well. But loved it. I was looking at the lyrics and the story, so beautiful. Krishna, very nice, amazing. Thank you for singing that. And I think you should bring in more of your songs because you sang really well and we loved the bhav through which you sang. So beautiful.
Thank you. I'll try Hindi next time.
No worries. I'm glad you latched on to this opportunity and we were the beneficiaries today. So thank you so much for that. Great. I think Urvi dropped off today. She probably had to rush. So let's have Sandhya and then Himani. Two more and then we'll wrap up the session today.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful voice and beautiful, soulful singing, Aparna ji. We'll move on to Sandhya ji. Radhe Radhe Sandhya ji.
Radhe Radhe Sandhya.
Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. I mean, it did not feel like it was not Hindi. Aparna ji, you did amazing. You sang amazingly well, and the fact that the meaning was there and you were singing in such a way that I could imagine that Krishna himself was saying all of those cute little words. Very, very beautiful. Thank you. And I'll share my screen and hopefully won't take
Sure. I think this is a good trend we have set up where we sing and share the screen as well. So that always helps.
But I haven't put English meaning of this. This is a Hindi version, so sorry about not putting the.
Oh, hey Nath, very nice.
But people who understand Hindi will be able to understand the lyrics, and they are very beautiful lyrics. So okay, I'll get started.
Yes, yes, please.
हे नाथ अब तो ऐसी दया हो जीवन निरर्थक जाने न पाए यह मन न जाने क्या क्या कराए कुछ बन न पाया अपने बनाए संसार में ही आसक्त रहकर दिन रात अपने मतलब भी कहकर सुख के लिए लाखों दुख सहकर यह दिन अभी तक यूं ही गवाए हे नाथ अब तो ऐसी दया हो जीवन निरर्थक जाने न पाए ऐसा जगा दो फिर सो न पाऊं अपने को निष्काम प्रेमी बना दो मैं आपको चाहूं और पाऊं संसार का कुछ रह न पाए हे नाथ अब तो ऐसी दया हो जीवन निरर्थक जाने न पाए हे नाथ मुझको निष्काम बना दो देना सिखा दो दानी बना दो नर्तन है साधन भव सिंधु तर दूं ऐसा समय फिर आए न आए हे नाथ अब तो ऐसी दया हो जीवन निरर्थक जाने न पाए
Very nice, Sandhya. It's one of my favorite bhajans and so beautifully sung by Swamiji as well. And you did full justice to it. Loved it. And it's a very, very devotional, heartwarming bhajan with a lot of good prayer that we all need to strive for. So thank you so much for that. Loved it. Keep up the good work. All right. Last but not the least, we have Himani.
Radhe Radhe,
Which one
Himani
are
ji,
you going
please
for?
go ahead.
Vireh Madhuri, Milan Madhuri, which one are you going for today?
Naam Sankirtan.
Naam Sankirtan. All right. Let's do it.
Okay. Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe Govinda Govinda Shyama Govinda Govinda Gopal Radhe Krishna Govinda 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 Gopal Radhe Krishna Govinda Govinda Shama Govinda Govinda Shama Govinda Govinda Shama Govinda Govinda Gopal Radhe Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Radhe Krishna Govinda Govinda.
Outstanding, Himani. I don't know. I mean, you are amazing. So I think you've been the, if you ask me, find of the year, okay, in singing. I just love your vibrant voice and the bhavs that you get into your singing and bhajan. So just love it. Take it to a different world altogether. See, we have to close our eyes, listen to you and do Roop Dhyan. You have an advantage. You can do it yourself, right? Listen to yourself and do Roop Dhyan. So that's amazing. Loved it. All right. Anybody who wants to say anything? I think we had a pretty engaging session today and rightly rounded off with some very, very beautiful devotional bhajans from Aparna ji, Sandhya, and then now Himani. So we can cap off our session and look forward to seeing you tomorrow to continue this discussion. Anything from your side, Pallavi ji?
Amazing devotional session today, Nitin ji. Amazing, amazing.
We missed out
It's
Urvi
like,
today. So
yeah,
tomorrow we'll give her the first privilege to sing because I think she may have to rush. So Urvi, I've taken note of your name for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, Nitin ji, for such an awesome session. And thanks to all of you for your enthusiastic participation. Stay blessed, stay safe. See you all tomorrow in our tomorrow's session. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Good
Radhe.
night.
Good
Have
day,
a great day, everyone. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.